Let us continue pure orbital overlapping concept, in which oxygen molecule we are taking. Oxygen molecule is formed by combination of two oxygen atoms. Two oxygen atoms on combination gives oxygen molecule. Now, for oxygen, electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p4. So 2s contains 2 electrons, 2p contains 4 electrons. 2p contains 4 electrons. So in the oxygen atom, two unpaired electrons present. In the oxygen atom, two unpaired electrons present. These two unpaired electrons present in 2p orbitals. Suppose if we take this is 2pz, it is 2py. Now 2py and 2pz are perpendicular to each other. Y-axis and z-axis are perpendicular to each other. This p orbital is a dumbbell that p orbital will take. So we are taking it is one p orbital. Suppose we are taking it is a z-axis, then it is a pz orbital. It contains one electron. Then we will write a py orbital. Then we are writing py orbital. This py orbital is perpendicular to this z-axis. This y is perpendicular to this z, therefore it is called py orbital. Then next we will take a, for this oxygen atom, pz orbital will take, pz orbital we are taking, and perpendicular to this py orbital will take. We are perpendicular to the z, y, that is py orbital. This contains one electron. Py orbital contains one electron. Now, both these orbitals come closer for overlapping. Both the orbitals come closer for overlapping. It is a 1 2pz orbital. It is another 2pz orbital. Another 2pz orbital. It is a nucleus. It is a nucleus. Now we will take a internuclear axis. Internuclear axis we are taking. Internuclear axis is this one. Now here overlapping is along internuclear axis. Overlapping is along internuclear axis. Which orbitals? Pz orbital. Pz orbital is overlapping along the internuclear axis. Therefore, it is forming which bond in the sense sigma bond. The sigma bond is formed by Pz Pz. Sigma bond is formed. So that between oxygen atoms in oxygen molecule, one bond is called sigma bond, that is formed by pz orbitals. Okay. Next, we'll see about this py orbitals. We'll see regarding this py orbitals. How py orbitals are there in the sense, this is one py orbital. It is y-axis py orbital. It contains one unpaired electron. Here, py orbital. It is y-axis. This contains one electron, py orbital. Both come closer. So what will happen? When py orbitals, between py orbitals, what will happen? That we'll see. Now, first we will write this pz orbitals. We will draw. This is one pz orbital. It is one pz orbital. Okay. These two are pz orbitals. These two pz orbitals undergo overlapping along the internuclear axis, that is axial overlapping possible. This axial overlapping gives what bond in the sense sigma bond. Now it is a nucleus. At this nucleus here py orbital is there. It is py orbital. This is also py orbital. Okay, this is y-axis py orbital. This is y-axis py orbital. Now two 2py orbitals, two 2py orbitals are perpendicular to internuclear axis. Perpendicular to internuclear axis. Perpendicular to internuclear axis. See the internuclear axis, how it is there. Internuclear axis is nothing but z-axis. Internuclear axis is nothing but z-axis. Okay. So by convention, we are the internuclear axis is taken in z-axis. Okay. Even y-axis also we can take. Z-axis, x-axis also we can take. Here we have considered internuclear axis in z-axis. Okay. So here two 2p atomic orbitals are perpendicular to internuclear axis and they are parallel to each other, See this 2p orbital and this 2p orbital are parallel to each other, see, parallel to each other. Then what type of overlap is possible in the sense, then lateral overlap is possible. Otherwise we can call this is as sidewise overlap. We can say. How the sidewise overlap will be there? That I will say. This is one 2p orbital and another 2p orbital is this one. They are overlapping sideways. It is called sidewise overlap. So where overlap is possible in the sense, here overlap is possible, then here overlap is possible. Sir, now we will consider nucleus here. Now we will draw internuclear axis. It is internuclear axis. In this case, how the overlap is there means, overlapping is possible. Above and below the internuclear axis. Overlapping is possible above and below the internuclear axis. Okay, here overlapping is possible above and below the internuclear axis. We can say overlapping is possible like this. So overlapping is possible above and below the internuclear axis and to the same extent. That means to what extent overlapping is possible above, to the same extent overlapping is possible below. Okay, so such a type of overlap, that means like this overlap is called lateral overlap, otherwise sidewise overlap. Why sidewise overlap means one side of p orbital undergoing overlap, that's why it is called sidewise overlap. So here such a type of overlap is possible in this case. Therefore these two 2p orbitals are undergoing sidewise overlap, otherwise lateral overlap we can say. These two 2p atomic orbitals undergo sidewise overlap, otherwise a lateral overlap we can say. This result what in the sense pi bond. Pi bond we can say. This bond is called a pi bond. For this symbolic representation is like this. This pi bond is formed by overlapping of this p orbital and this p orbital laterally. Therefore we can say pi orbital pp overlapping we will say. Here we have written two lines, one is above and another one is below. This indicates lateral overlap means overlapping above and below the internuclear axis, that is a meaning, which is nothing but one pi bond. Therefore in this oxygen two bonds are there, one is sigma, already we said. Another one is what means pi bond, that is formed between p orbitals on lateral overlapping. Now between oxygen atoms two bonds are there, one is sigma, another one is pi. These two bonds means we have to call this as a double bond. We can call. So next we will take a nitrogen molecule. Nitrogen atoms on combining to give what in the sense nitrogen molecule. Nitrogen atoms on combining to give what in the sense nitrogen molecule it gives. So now we will take a nitrogen atom. For this electronic configuration is a helium 2s2 2p3. 2s contains 2 electrons. 2p contains 3 orbitals, 3 electrons. We can write like this. 2p contains 3 electrons. That 3 electrons we have written as a 3 unpaired electrons we have written. It is ground state configuration. Even valence shell configuration also this one only. This is even excited state configuration also this one only, because valence shell, this outermost shell, is not having any more orbitals. Therefore it is ground state configuration as well as excited state configuration. So for this nitrogen, number of unpaired electrons are 3 and 1 electron pair will be there. 1 electron pair and 3 unpaired electrons will be there. Okay. Now, these 3 unpaired electrons, suppose it is 2px in the sense it is 2py, it is 2pz. Okay. Now, these 3 2p atomic orbitals are perpendicular to each other because they are in x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay, sorry. So, now we will consider one 2pz orbital. It is what in the sense 2pz orbital. It is 2pz orbital contains 1 electron. Next, we will take a 2py orbital will take, that is perpendicular to z-axis. It is a 2py orbital. It is perpendicular to z-axis. 2py orbital, it is perpendicular to z-axis. Next, we will take a 2px orbital, which is perpendicular to x and y and z. So now we are taking, this is what in the sense x-axis. So x-axis is perpendicular to y and z-axis. Okay, this 2px is having 1 electron, 1 unpaired electron. Okay, in the same way we have to write for another nitrogen atom. Now we will write for another nitrogen atom. So for another nitrogen atom, this is what in the sense 2pz orbital. 2pz orbital contains 1 unpaired electron. Then 2py atomic orbital. 2py atomic orbital contains 1 unpaired electron. 2py atomic orbital contains 1 unpaired electron. Then 2px atomic orbital. Then 2px atomic orbital contains 1 unpaired electron. 2px atomic orbital contains 1 unpaired electron. So we have written here, we have written 3 2p atomic orbitals for nitrogen. So for this nitrogen, 3 2p atomic orbitals. For this nitrogen, 3 2p atomic orbitals we have written. They are undergoing overlapping now in order to form molecule. Sir, now this 2pz and this 2pz are along the internuclear axis. Therefore, they will undergo axial overlapping or end-on end overlapping or head-on overlapping to give sigma bond. So it is one 2pz atomic orbital. It is another 2pz atomic orbital. These two 2pz atomic orbitals undergo end-on end overlap, that is called axial overlap. It results what bond in the sense sigma bond. So sigma bond is formed. So due to this, what is formed in the sense sigma bond is formed. This sigma bond is formed by overlapping of 2p atomic orbitals, 2p orbitals. Okay. So overlapping in the sense this part is called overlapping. Okay. So this is axial overlapping. This gives sigma bond. Therefore, in this nitrogen, 3 bonds are there. Out of 3, 1 is sigma, that is formed by p orbitals on overlapping. Otherwise, pz orbitals on overlapping. Axial overlapping we can say. Then py atomic orbitals will take 2py orbitals. 2py orbitals are perpendicular to internuclear axis. Perpendicular to internuclear axis. Sir, internuclear axis we will see. Now, this is the internuclear axis. This is the internuclear axis. Okay. So, 2py atomic orbitals are perpendicular to internuclear axis. 2py atomic orbitals we will draw. This is one 2py atomic orbital. It is another 2py atomic orbital. Two 2py atomic orbitals we have drawn. And they in the sense 2 2py atomic orbitals. They are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. So this 2py and this 2py are parallel to each other. Therefore, between them, what overlap is possible in the sense lateral overlap is possible. So lateral overlap in the sense it is called sidewise overlap. That means it will give which bond in the sense pi bond. That pi bond is formed by 2 2py atomic orbitals. So now we will take this pi bond. We will take this pi bond is formed by overlapping of 2 2py atomic orbitals. We can say. Next, we will take about this 2px orbital. This 2px orbital will take. this 2px orbital, this x-axis, 2px orbital in the sense it is orienting along x-axis. This x-axis is perpendicular to this z-axis as well as this y-axis. Therefore, now we will write a 2px atomic orbital. We are writing 2px atomic orbital here. This is x-axis. Here also we are drawing 2px atomic orbital. 2px atomic orbital. Now, two 2px atomic orbitals are perpendicular to internuclear axis, and they are parallel to each other. Therefore, between them, what is possible in the sense lateral overlap is possible. Therefore, this 2px atomic orbital and this 2px atomic orbital undergo lateral overlapping. So 2px atomic orbitals undergo lateral overlapping. This will result which bond in the sense pi bond. This pi bond is formed by overlapping between two 2px atomic orbitals. Okay, so this pi bond is formed by overlapping between two 2px atomic orbitals. This pi bond is formed by overlapping between two 2px atomic orbitals, we can say. So nitrogen molecule contains 3 bonds. Out of 3, 1 is sigma bond, other 2 are pi bonds. This 3 bonds called as a triple bond. So triple bond means 1 is sigma, other 2 are pi bonds, we can say. Sir, now we can say that sigma bond we have to represent at center, pi bonds up and down we have to represent. Okay, so sigma bond we are representing at center, pi bonds we are representing like this. What is the meaning in the sense sigma bond is along internuclear axis, pi bonds in the sense that is above and below the internuclear axis. For that case only we are representing like this. Okay, so this is about what in the sense nitrogen molecule. So in the nitrogen molecule, how the overlapping is possible, that we have seen. Okay, so far we have discussed what in the sense homogeneous molecules. Homogeneous diatomic molecules. Homogeneous in the sense the molecule contains same kind of atoms. Now nitrogen molecule means it contains only nitrogen atoms. Oxygen molecule means that contains only oxygen atoms. Now we will see about a heterodiatomic molecule. Heterodiatomic molecule will take, for example, HF. Hydrogen combines with fluorine to give what in the sense HF. We'll take like this. So HF molecule we'll see. In HF molecule, how the bonding will be there. That we'll see in HF molecule. HF molecule also we have discussed, I think so. Sir, okay. In hydrogen electronic configuration is 1s1. This is s orbital. S orbital in the sense spherical and symmetric. It contains 1 electron. Fluorine electronic configuration is what in the sense helium 2s2 2p5. Helium 2s2 2p5. Thus 2p5 we can write like this. Here 2 electrons, here 2 electrons, here 1 electron. 2pz contains 1 electron. So fluorine is containing 2pz atomic orbital which has unpaired electron, that we have considered here nucleus. Now these two come closer for overlapping. So now it is a s orbital for hydrogen atom. It is a 2pz orbital for a fluorine atom. 2pz atomic orbital for fluorine atom. It is a nucleus. Here 2 electrons are there. Okay. Now we will see the internuclear axis. Internuclear axis in the sense this axis is passing through this nucleus, coming like this, passing through this nucleus and coming like this. So this axis is passing along this center of nucleus and along this center of nucleus. Here overlapping is possible along the internuclear axis. Therefore, this bond is called sigma bond. The sigma bond is formed by overlapping between this s orbital and this p orbital. Therefore, sigma sp bond we can say. Sir, so this HF molecule comes under sigma sp bond we can say. Sir, next we will take some other molecule. We will take, for example, we will take beryllium chloride. Beryllium chloride we will take. So beryllium chloride. For this beryllium chloride, some experimental results we will take regarding beryllium chloride. Experimental result says that beryllium chloride is having only one bond length. Only one bond length. Experimental result says beryllium chloride has only one bond length. What does it mean? What is the meaning of this one? Using VSEPR theory, using valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, beryllium chloride structure we have said that is shape is linear. We said shape is linear. Okay, shape is linear. Here between this beryllium and chlorine one sigma bond is there. Between this beryllium and chlorine one sigma bond is there. Now here only one bond length. That meaning is what in the sense this bond distance, this bond length and this bond length are equal. That is the meaning. Experimental result says beryllium chloride has only one bond length. That meaning is nature of this bond and nature of this bond is same. Therefore only here for this bond distance same. That means distance between center of these two nuclei and the distance between center of these two nuclei are equal. Okay, so that's what experimental result says. So as per experimental result, we are coming to know that these two bonds have same nature, and therefore these two bonds have same bond length. Therefore, experimental analysis says beryllium chloride has only one bond length. Now, this valency bond theory, it is called pure orbital overlapping concept. This pure orbital overlapping concept is explaining this experimental fact or not, that we will see. Okay, so let us try for explaining this experimental fact using this pure orbital overlapping concept from valency bond theory. Now we will take beryllium. For beryllium, electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p0. So 2s contains 1 orbital, contains 2 electrons, 2p contains 3 orbitals, 0 electrons in ground state. Now we will take excited state. In excited state means from 2s 1 electron goes to 2p. Then chlorine will take atomic number 17, electronic configuration is neon 3s2 3p5. 3p contains 3 orbitals and pz orbital contain 1 unpaired electron. Pz orbital contains unpaired electron. Okay. Now we will go for a structure of this one. Now in beryllium chloride, beryllium nucleus we will consider beryllium nucleus, and this is what in the sense one unpaired electron present in 2s orbital. Okay, this is unpaired electron present in 2s orbital. Then this is unpaired electron present in 2p orbital. So beryllium contains 2 unpaired electrons, 1 unpaired electron in 2s orbital, 1 unpaired electron in 2p orbital. Okay, so this beryllium contains 2 unpaired electrons, one unpaired electron present in 2p atomic orbital, 1 unpaired electron present in 2s atomic orbital. Now regarding chlorine, Cl contains unpaired electron present in 3pz atomic orbital. Okay, so for Cl unpaired electron present in 3pz. For Cl unpaired electron present in 3p atomic orbital. So for Cl unpaired electron present in 3p atomic orbital. Now these two electrons undergoing overlapping to give sigma bond. These two electrons undergoing overlapping to give sigma bond. Okay. Now this sigma bond is formed by overlapping between 2p atomic orbital of beryllium and 3p atomic orbital of chlorine. This sigma bond is formed by 2s atomic orbital of beryllium and 3p atomic orbital of chlorine. So this sigma bond is formed by s and p orbitals on overlapping. This sigma bond is formed by p orbitals on overlapping. This is this explanation is based on pure orbital overlapping concept in valency bond theory. Now this pure orbital overlapping concept says that here in this beryllium, second shell orbital is involving in bonding. In this case also, this side also second shell atomic orbital involving in bonding. From chlorine, third shell atomic orbital. From this chlorine also third shell atomic orbital. So both chlorine atoms giving from a third shell. Both chlorine atoms giving atomic orbitals from third shell for overlapping. But beryllium giving atomic orbitals for overlapping from second shell. But nature of orbital is different. It is s orbital whereas it is p orbital. Beryllium gives atomic orbitals for overlapping from second shell, but nature of atomic orbital is different. This is s atomic orbital, it is p orbital. This will say s orbital, this will say p orbital. Nature of orbital is different. Shape of orbital is different. Energy of orbitals is different. S and P is having different energy, different shape. Therefore, nature of this bond and this bond is different as per pure orbital overlapping concept. So nature of this sigma bond and nature of this sigma bond is different as per pure orbital overlapping concept. But what experimental result says? Experimental result says that beryllium chloride has only one bond length. That means this bond and this bond are having same bond length. That means these two bonds have same nature. That means these two bonds have same nature, but pure orbital overlapping concept says what? Different nature. So as per pure orbital overlapping concept, the bonds have different nature. The bonds have different nature. Here experimental result says that both bonds have same nature. That means pure orbital overlapping concept is unable to explain this experimental fact. Pure orbital overlapping concept from the valence bond theory is unable to explain this experimental fact. So now we will take another molecule. We will take what is a molecule in the sense water molecule. This water molecule is having V shape or angular shape, V shape or angular shape, V shape or angular shape, like this is there. For this, what is the bond angle? For this, bond angle is how much in the sense 104.5 degree as per experiment. So bond angle in water molecule is 104.5 degree as per experimental result. Experimental result says like this. So now this experimental result is explained by pure orbital overlapping concept or not, that we will see. Now we will consider pure orbital overlapping concept. Oxygen will take, here central atom is oxygen, that electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p4. So 2s contains one orbital that contains 2 electrons. 2p contains 3 orbitals that contains 4 electrons. 4 electrons. So in 2p, 2 unpaired electrons present. Suppose one in 2py, another in 2pz. Like this we will take. Okay, this is 2py atomic orbital, means this is 2pz atomic orbital. So 2 unpaired electrons are there. 2py is having 1 unpaired electron, 2pz is having 1 unpaired electron. Now we will consider this oxygen nucleus. We will take this 2py orbital like this. This is what in the sense 2py orbital. It is having 1 unpaired electron. This is what in the sense 2pz orbital. It is having 1 unpaired electron. 2pz orbital is having 1 unpaired electron for oxygen. Next, we will take hydrogen. Hydrogen is having 1s1 orbital. Hydrogen is having 1s1 orbital. So for hydrogen we can say 1s1 orbital. We can say for hydrogen 1s1 orbital. Now they are going for overlapping. They are going for overlapping like this. These two are going for overlapping. This p orbital, this s orbital is going for overlapping. This p orbital, this s orbital is going for overlapping. Okay. So due to overlapping, what is the result we will see. So now overlapping. This is a 2py atomic orbital. 2py atomic orbital. This is a 2pz atomic orbital. They are overlapping with the s orbital. This is what in the sense s orbital of hydrogen. This is s orbital of hydrogen. This is oxygen. So overlapping is possible. Therefore bond is created. Okay. So now we will say oxygen bonding with hydrogen, bonding with hydrogen. Now this is a sigma bond. This sigma bond. This sigma bond is formed by overlapping between which orbitals, in the sense oxygen p orbital and hydrogen s orbital. This is also sigma bond. This sigma bond is formed by oxygen p orbital and hydrogen s orbital. Okay, this sigma bond is formed by oxygen p orbital and hydrogen s orbital. This sigma bond is formed by oxygen p orbital and hydrogen s orbital. That means Both bonds have same nature as per pure orbital overlapping concept. That means both bonds will have same bond length as per pure orbital overlapping concept. What experimental result says? Experimental result says only one bond length for this water molecule. For water molecule, only one bond length. It is the experimental result. Experimental result says water molecule has only one bond length. What pure orbital overlapping concept says? It also says same. Sir, regarding bond angle, we'll see. Now, this is oxygen nucleus. Oxygen nucleus is here. This is 2py orbital. This is 2pz orbital. Y-axis and z-axis are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, what is the angle possible here? The possible angle is 90 degree as per pure orbital overlapping concept. But what experimental result says? 104.5 degree. So, pure orbital overlapping concept is unable to explain this experimental fact. This pure orbital overlapping concept is unable to explain the experimental fact of bond angle. So that in the valency bond theory, another concept is introduced. That concept is called what in the sense hybridization. Hybridization concept is introduced. In the valency bond theory, first they introduced pure orbital overlapping concept in order to explain bond angles, shape of molecules. Due to such a type of limitations, in the valence bond theory, another concept is introduced that is called what in the sense hybridization. Hybridization in the sense hybrid orbitals involved in bond. Hybridization in the sense hybrid orbitals involved in bond. Hybrid orbitals involved in bond. Hybrid orbitals. How to get hybrid orbitals in the sense intermixing of pure atomic orbitals. Intermixing of pure atomic orbitals give hybrid orbitals which undergo overlapping to give bonds. Okay, this hybridization concept is the pure orbitals on intermixing gives hybrid orbitals which on overlapping gives bond. This is the concept of hybridization. Okay, this hybridization is purely mathematical oriented because valency bond theory is quantum mechanics based. Quantum mechanics is completely mathematics oriented. So hybridization also mathematics oriented. We are seeing superficially a little theory part we are seeing. That's all. Sir. So as per hybridization, intermixing of pure atomic orbitals they give hybrid orbitals. So pure orbitals intermixing in the sense which pure orbitals will intermix? Which pure orbitals will intermix? The atomic orbitals from valence shell. The atomic orbitals from valence shell will undergo intermixing. That means how the energy of atomic orbital should be there? Energy almost remains same. Energy of atomic orbitals which undergo intermixing almost should remain same. So like this is there means we will get hybrid orbitals. Now we will take an example. Beryllium chloride we will take. We are taking beryllium chloride. In this beryllium chloride we will take central atom beryllium. The central atom beryllium electronic configuration is what in the sense? Helium 2s2 2p0. 2s2 2p0. 2s contains 1 orbital, 2p contains 3 orbitals. As per valency bond theory, as per valency shell electron pair repulsion theory, beryllium chloride structure we got. This beryllium is having 2 sigma bonds. Beryllium is forming 2 sigma bonds. So how many sigma bonds central atom is forming? That many atomic orbitals from central atom undergo intermixing to give that many hybrid orbitals. Okay. So this beryllium is having how many bonds in its valence shell? 2 bonds. So from beryllium, how many atomic orbitals should go for intermixing? 2 atomic orbitals. From where? From its valence shell. So 2 atomic orbitals on intermixing gives how many hybrid orbitals? Same 2 hybrid orbitals. Okay, So in this beryllium, first we will take this valence shell. So valence shell is 2s2p. Okay. So in beryllium chloride, beryllium is having how many sigma bonds? 2. Therefore, from beryllium, how many atomic orbitals from valence shell should undergo intermixing? 2. Therefore, from this valence shell, 2 atomic orbitals should undergo intermixing. So, 2 atomic orbitals in the sense start from least energy orbital. Okay, least energy orbital in the sense 2s. In the valence shell, least energy. So we will take one 2s orbital. We will take 2s means only one orbital possible. So 2 orbitals should intermix. One is 2s orbital is over. Another one is next higher energy. That is what means 2p. Take one 2p orbital. Don't take all the 3 2p orbitals. Don't take. How many is required? That many you take. Availability is 3 2p orbitals available. But how many are required? 1. Therefore, take one 2p orbital for intermixing. Okay. So in beryllium chloride, beryllium is having 2 bonds. Therefore, 2 atomic orbitals from the valence shell of beryllium will undergo intermixing. Okay, one is 2s orbital, another one is 2p orbital. They are going for intermixing. So on intermixing, what we are getting in the sense hybrid orbitals we are getting. So on intermixing, hybrid orbitals we are getting. How many hybrid orbitals we will get in the sense 2 hybrid orbitals we will get. Because why 2 hybrid orbitals we are getting? Because 2 orbitals undergo intermixing. Therefore, we are getting 2 hybrid orbitals. What is the nature of a hybrid orbital? This hybrid orbital is having sp nature. This hybrid orbital is having sp nature. That means here what is a hybrid orbital formed? Here hybrid orbital formed is a sp hybrid orbital. This orbital, this sp hybrid orbital has 50% s character, 50% s character and 50% p character. 50% s character is there and 50% p character is there for this sp orbital. Okay, so here this hybrid orbital means each orbital, 2 hybrid orbitals we are getting. Each orbital is called sp orbital. Each orbital is having 50% s character and 50% p character, because they are intermixing. S orbital and p orbital are intermixing. Therefore, we are getting a 50% s character and 50% p character. So you may ask a question, how they will intermix? They are orbital. How they will intermix means understand that orbital means it is just like a orbital in the sense it is mathematically explained, mathematically derived one. Orbital is mathematically derived one. Therefore, mathematically said like this. Okay, sir. So we got 2 sp hybrid orbitals. Then these hybrid orbitals, how they will be there in the sense hybrid orbitals will have same energy. Hybrid orbitals will have same energy, same shape, same shape. Hybrid orbitals will have same energy and same shape, like this will be there. And hybrid orbitals will orient around the nucleus of this beryllium. These 2 hybrid orbitals orient around the nucleus of beryllium such that in which orientation possible means the orientation is such that repulsion is minimum and stability is maximum, like this. So what is the shape of a hybrid orbital? We'll see. Hybrid orbital is always represented as a one lobe big and one lobe small. Like this only we have to represent hybrid orbital. And at center what is there means nucleus is there. At center what is there means nucleus is there. So hybrid orbital, how to represent hybrid orbital means one lobe big, one lobe small. Hybrid orbital we have to represent like this only. So we are representing hybrid orbital in what way? One lobe big, one